और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया।
Good afternoon and a very, very warm welcome to this special edition of Business Opportunity Over Chai. So friends, आपका बहुत बहुत मैं स्वागत करता हूँ इस Business Opportunity Over Chai में. Everybody who's watching here and watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. I am Saras Gupta, do your own specialist and a learning and development leader with Franchise India. This special edition of Business Opportunities for Chai is a daily episode that we do at 12 o'clock live. And it is hosted by our chairman, Mr. Gaurav Maurya, the chairman of Franchise India, and Ms. Sonia Chaudhary, MD Franchise India Brands. So what we do is we have been into establishment for past 25 years where we help investors like you to pick up the right business. Every house, every young person has an aspiration to start something of their own. And with that, we have two choices. Either I start something of your own and become a brand with a lot of commitment. And on the other side, we have investors like you that why I should do that because somebody has created that legacy, somebody has done that homework, somebody has taken that pain, and why I should not take a franchise. So why people take franchising? Only one reason, it is ease of business. Franchising is already, we are talking about $4.5 trillion economy when we are talking about to be a $5 trillion economy by 2030, but franchising is picking up at a 5% growth rate. That doesn't mean that every business is for everyone. You have to be very precautionate, very selective on picking up the business. And business wahi, so the ROI sahi is what we say. When you pick up a business, it's a complete process, and we franchise India since past 25 years. We have mastered that outfit, that the process of picking up a business. So what we do is, once you get in touch with us, we sit with you, spend dedicate time with you, and we do a 25-point evaluation. 25-point evaluation that we do. And if your score is more than 20, then only we suggest you let's go for this business. However, if your score is less than 15, we don't suggest you to opt for that business because time has come to re-engineer your business plan because if it's less than 15, the risk really goes very high. Business is something that you should be picking up only considering that it becomes a problem solver in the market. So, friends, today, as we see that, especially after Corona, the lifestyle of the people have been changing. During Corona, a lot of people have really, in fact, everyone I would rather say, has upgraded their homes and given a new and a fresh look to their homes as well. The world is always talking about the stories, and this is where we want to present you and launch a big brand called Kyoona. Kyoona is a premium home furnishing brand. The typical way they work is probably every corner of your house should be telling a dedicated story when some you have some visitors coming across to you. Kyoona, a top internationally recognized designer collection brand, a payback between 18 to 24 months is what you can expect. A large manufacturing faculty that we have. The area that we require would be 1,000 square feet, and the investment starts from 50 to 55 lakhs. So today we have been honored by his own presence, Mr. Anuj, who is the founder of this brand. He's invited here, and today he'll be presenting us his business opportunity that why, what are the reasons to partner with Kyouna. So Anuji, we'll keep it in Hindi, English more to for the maximum audience to understand. So Anuj ji, बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका business opportunity over chai पे. And also, as we start with a formal presentation, before actually we start with a formal presentation, I would like to ask you the story behind creating the story and what does Kyouna means. And friends, for you, please use the Q&A box after this formal presentation. We'll pick up all the questions from the Q&A box. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Saras, for that introduction. Um, तो मैं शुरुआत करता हूँ फ्रॉम तीन साल हो गए एक्चुअली 4 साल हो गए इज व्हेन द फर्स्ट आइडिया केम टू माय हेड वाज मैं लंदन में पढ़ाई कर रहा था एंड आई वेंट टू अ डिपार्टमेंट स्टोर देयर and I bought a bed sheet for about 40 pounds, which is 4,000 rupees, right? So मेरे को लगा कि हाँ महंगा बेड शीट है एकदम मस्त रहेगा and I'll get a great night's sleep. But unfortunately, as soon as I went home, I laid on the bed and it was absolutely rough. And I knew कि India में there's, when I घर पे जब सोता था, that was something else entirely. And फिर मैं मेरी माँ को फोन करके पूछा कि वो कितने का खरीदा. She said 1,600 रुपया. And I was like, my God, either 4,000 spend करके भी it's not even close to that level of comfort. So I knew there was a gap globally in great textile. India is a textile capital, one of only 5 in the world, right? And so that's when I started thinking, okay, there is something to be done in the home textile space. Uske baad, when I came back to India on a short trip, I was just, seeing the space a little more and seeing what else is happening in the space. And then I started noticing trends and patterns. Everyone in this space does your regular solid bed sheets, plain bed sheets, patterns, floral prints, cultural prints. But उन्होंने पूरे ये space को commoditize कर दिया है. आप Amazon पे जाओगे या D-Decor पे जाओगे तो you see basically variations of the same design. There is no thought as such. जो भी market में latest trend है सब लोग उसके पीछे भाग के वैसे designs they are outputting. So we as a family have a very strong connect with the design community of India. So we thought, okay, let's take, actual artists, designers, and let's give them a brief, right? So we created 4 briefs, we gave it to them, and what we've done is we've taken art off the wall and onto the bed. Then it came to the actual fabric itself. So we did a lot of research, sampling, and testing to figure out what is it that actually makes great fabric. Everyone in this space will tell you that it is higher thread count means better fabric. We realized that's not true after all our testing. So let me share my screen and present to you actually what the brand is and what are the different ways in which we're trying to change this market. So at its core, Kyoona is a choice to put design at the center of everything we do. With our range of premium home linen designed by some of the best around the world, we aim to be the bridge between art and living spaces, holistically and whimsically. So here you can see just some of our designs, but the fabric itself, right, what I was saying. Now, there is softness, richness, and breathability. That's one component. There is color absorption because we are, a design-led brand. And finally, there's durability when you put it in the washing machine, mein dalo, dryer mein dalo. All of these things can ruin textile. So how can we make sure that our bed sheets are the most durable through these processes? So then there's 4 pillars, right? There's thread count, material, weave, and ply. These are 4 pillars that make up great fabric. Thread count, the moment you go above 400-500 thread count, you start to lose breathability. It feels suffocating. It feels slippery. So in a place like India, you at sometimes, maybe if you have a very expensive bedsheet at home, you'll know this. Sometimes at night you feel very suffocated. You need to put the AC very high. You're feeling cold, but you're still feeling suffocated. That's because the thread count is too high. Material is a very easy choice, right? 100% cotton. There is no other choice itself. Indian cotton, pure made organic Indian cotton, is actually softer than Egyptian cotton. Egyptian cotton is very processed. Indian cotton is raw and very organic. When it comes to weave, right? People throw around the words of weave without realizing what it is, right? You've got a jacquard weave, you've got percale, jersey knit, satin, sateen. No one understands what any of these mean, but sateen, which is the weave choice that we have taken, is what, again, it provides breathability, but it gives it that very soft texture and a little bit of a shine. Finally, triple ply. The reason why we chose to go with 3 layers of fabric fused together is because it means there are lesser threads per fabric and that's more spaced out. So again, it increases the breathability, but also the color absorption. So all of these things put together, I won't like go on and on about this, but what it means is you can put our bed sheets in the washing machine, you can put it in the dryer. It remains soft pretty much up until 80 washes. The colors don't fade. And all in all, it is a great custom fabric that we have created here. The second part of it, so how it comes together is in Coimbatore is where we source our yarn and fabric. We have a supplier contract there and he does contract manufacturing for a custom fabric for us. From there, it goes to Ahmedabad, where again, we have a contract with a digital printer who currently we occupy about 15% of his capacity. And from there, it comes to Mumbai for our in-house stitching and logistics center. The reason we keep final production in-house is to ensure that the final checks and quality are done at our end and are absolutely high level. The second part of the brand is design. So as I mentioned, we have a strong connect and close relations with designers from around the world. And we stand for great design and to uplift the design community. So you can see with the few photos here and there that we are trying to change how people look at bedding, right? We've got a curated run of 16 designs by 14 artists, and these are done across 4 different collections. So the collection names are Utopia, Surreal, Dots, and Kids, but each of them has its own brief and its own vibe that it creates. So you can see that something as simple as this collection here versus something as crazy as this. We've created a whole range of things to match different tastes. These are just some of our artists and the people that make the designs happen. And yeah, that's about it for what the story of the brand is.
Perfect. So, Anuji, one question coming here is, what is Kyoona? What does it mean?
So Kyoona is, the name itself is why not, Hindi mein.
Oh, okay.
The point, I'll tell you where that name came about, right? When we were conceptualizing this business, right? Every time someone asked me, why should we do such high level fabric? Why should we pay our designers so much? Why should we do this? Why should we do that? मेरे दिमाग में खाली एक ही आंसर आ रहा था, why not? We can, so why not? And the point is, when you're buying something or when you're trying to upgrade your own lifestyle, right? You want to sleep better, you want to have a nicer bedroom, a better looking bedroom. Your first question will be, why will I spend so much? Again, why will I, go for this brand, that brand? Our point is live the why not lifestyle. Kyoona, right? That's the story of what Kyoona means.
Very, very interesting it is. And so let's talk about some financial models. If you would like to share with us how the finances look like, what are we looking for, area?
Yes. So basically, we're looking at approximately an investment of 55 lakhs, 50 to 55 lakhs. The minimum area that we require is actually only 1,000 square feet. Sounds like a lot. It's not, it's at the mid-range of what stores look at. The reason why we need 1,000 square feet is because of such a design-led brand, we need to make sure that our retail space accentuates that image, right? It needs to be a very well-designed space. When someone walks in, they should feel luxury in the store itself. Before they even see a product or feel a product, they should know that they are in a premium space. And in our experience, it would take about 1,000 square feet to do that. The average EBITDA that we expect is 50 to 70 lakhs. Technically, if you see over the course of 18 months to 22 months, depending on, of course, fluctuations in the market, you could potentially have a payback period of, like, you would have that payback period of 18 to 22 months. Right, so this is calculated based on the EBITDA in year one being at about 50 to 70 lakhs. And then from there on, we expect it to grow at least 70 to 80% year on year. These numbers do, of course, differ depending on whether we go for a platinum, gold, or silver franchise contract, but that's, again, a later discussion. The gross margin is about 30%. Your average ROI is 100%. And the minimum agreement period should ideally be 5 years, right? It's a luxury brand. It takes time to build a market and kind of understand what's happening. And yeah, that's a basic rundown of the numbers. Happy to answer any questions that require a bit of detail.
Absolutely. Thank you, Unaji. So, friends, we are now opening this forum for all the Q&As. But just a quick recap on a summarization of what Mr. Anuj presented. Kyoona is typically not just one of the brands which is there, selling bed sheets in front of competitors. What they have done is they really identified the problem, and probably they, as the designs were looking very vibrant and efficient, these will start creating their own stories in the market. The material that we use is especially what the USP is, because that's the time when you sleep on your bed, you would need the maximum comfort and breathable fabric that you're looking for. So yes, uh, if we talk about the investment, we are looking for unit franchise option right now. It's a FOFO model what they're offering. Franchisee owned, franchisee operated model is what they're offering. Investment starting from 50 to 55 lakhs, depending on the current condition of the outlet and the outfit. Area required would be 1,000 square feet. Margin of what we're expecting is 30% of margin on the products that we sell. So friends, we are now open for Q&A, and if you would like to post the Q&A, use the Q&A section, we can use that. So I see the first question coming up from Mr. Shiv. Any online sales can be provided by the company? So that's a good one, Anuji. Ideally, as you know, you are majorly spreading online with your own presence. But now, if somebody invests that big amount and he opens a store and you get an order from his area, who will do the fulfillment? You, or do you want to pass this benefit to the franchisee outlet?
So that is a model we can figure out on a case-by-case basis. Ideally, if an order comes in through a store, because that franchise fee, the franchise investment of 50 to 55 lakhs includes inventory, they should be able to fulfill the order then and there. We will pass on the benefit. For example, let's say the first franchise we open is in Delhi, for example. If there's an order that we get from Delhi and we believe it'll be faster to ship it from the store rather than from the website, we will also pass on that benefit to the store and count it as a sale from the store itself.
So friends, good point to note that yes, the brand Mr. Anuj himself is passing on the benefit with the stores, that becomes really great. With that, we have our MD, Ms. Sonia Chaudhary, who has joined this webinar especially for the brand, and she will be more than happy to take up all the questions on behalf of them. Over to you, ma'am.
Thanks, Aras. I welcome Anuj on this webinar today. We can perhaps remove the slide so that we can have a better view of all the panel members. And friends, we are more than happy to share any details on the financial working that has been done on the entire business model. And I'll start to take some questions. You can put that in the Q&A box and we'll take these questions right away. And any questions which requires any discussion which has to be in depth can be conducted offline. So just to quickly, what I've understood on the model is what I'll quickly recap. And I would also have some questions on the same, Anuj, in terms of a unit economics, how it works out, a little bit on the CAPEX deployment, ROI. I saw some questions pertaining to that. So friends, Kyoona is a Bombay-based company which started about 3 years back. And I think Anuj talked about his story of starting the business. I think there are two important aspects. One is functionality, the other is aesthetics. And these two are main highlights of the product. And as we speak, the brand is a direct-to-consumer brand, which is looking to come offline through franchise partnerships. And the overall requirement in terms of your area and terms of investment is close to 50 odd lakhs. This is a investment which includes your stock and also the basic investment which is required on the interiors, and an area of 1,000 square feet square feet in terms of the space. The overall margins, gross margins, which are provided by the company is about 30%. Now, to understand unit economic, friends, it is very important to understand, especially when we talk about retail business, it is important to understand the per square feet efficiencies. Second is we need to understand stock turnover, right? So stock turnover typically would mean that number of times a stock would turn over in a year. That's how in any product retail business, that's how your stock turnover is calculated. It is again different category or industry to industry. We'll understand what assumptions we have taken ahead. We also need to understand rental to sales throughput, which I would say overall are important considerations to be looked at when you look at any retail business. So Anuj, to start off with, we've talked about an investment of 50 odd lakhs. Would you want to give a little understanding where this investment is which obviously includes your inventory investment. It also includes your basic capex. I saw there's a component of 5 lakhs, which also goes towards franchise fee. So broadly, if you can break that up, what component goes where, would really be helpful.
Yeah, no, of course. So, it's 3 lakhs for the franchise fees, but yes, so overall, we're looking at about 50 odd lakhs, out of which 25 lakhs would be for the initial inventory.
How much is it? 20 lakhs?
25. 25
Okay.
lakhs would be for the initial inventory.
So 25 lakhs is the inventory. The value of this inventory would be how much?
25
At the
lakhs.
MRP.
Yes. So at MRP, if you take our, I'm just going to do a very basic calculation.
Sure. That's okay.
So if you take our average margin, the value would be at about 50 to 60 lakhs between that figure.
So which means the value of the inventory would be almost double. So at a 25 lakh investment, the value of the inventory would be 50 odd lakhs.
Yes.
At the MRP level.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So 25 goes towards the inventory and the balance investment.
Balance investment. So there's a fit out cost for the actual space itself, right? So the fit out cost would be approximately 15 to 20 lakhs, depending on how much, like whether it's actually 1,000 square feet, how much of what the space looks like already, how much do we actually need to change in it and all of that. Then you've got your licenses, registrations, signages, all of that we expect to come out to at least 2.5 lakhs as a one-time cost. You then have a bit of a launch marketing budget. And finally, your security deposit and any advance rentals and all of that put together.
Okay, so we've also included the working capital in the investment. So overall, if you look at the investment, there are 2 main components. One is your capex, which is average you have taken at about 1,500 rupees per square feet, so about 15 odd lakhs. And in addition to that, there's an inventory of 25 lakhs, which the MRP cost would be somewhere around 50, which is almost double. And then there's a franchise fee of 5 lakh rupees, correct?
Yes.
So this comes to about 45 odd lakhs, and friends, the balance amount is an amount towards your working capital, which is maybe for the first 3 months that we have taken into consideration. There's some launch budget also that has been accounted in this, and security deposit based on the location. Every region, I would say, would have a different structure for deposit, but I think we have considered about 3 odd months, I believe, in the initial. So about 45 lakhs is what it takes to put up the entire structure. Now, Anuj, now understanding typically on our business format, and I saw some questions on the ROI. When we look at the average sales, so typically in this industry, how much is a stock? How many times typically a stock would turn over? I'm sure there are peak seasons, which is around the festivals, where our sales are comparatively higher. But if you look at an average in this industry, what is a typical stock turnover? How many times would the stock turnover in a year? And obviously at I think that's 50 lakh inventory that we are sitting on.
Yes. So for the inventory that's at 50 lakhs, I think you can expect, obviously this will increase year on year, right? So there's two things to note here. One is we are a very early stage brand, right? So we are still building brand awareness, and there is still a lot of work to be done in terms of marketing ourselves. But according to our projections, we would expect the inventory to turn over at least 1 to 1.2 times in the first year. And then from there on, I think it would be at a growth rate of 100% year on year.
Okay. So which means that we are looking at an average of about 6 to 7 lakh sale in the first year, and about
Per month.
per month. That's an average per month, and about 10 plus that starts subsequently from the second year. Now, would this also involve, because as we show increment in our revenue, our sales, would it also mean there's a bigger inventory investment which is required from the franchise partner? Because as the sales would increase, there would also be a need to add more inventories to the center.
So yes, but I will say this, currently, if you do a very simple calculation, you'll see that our margin is 50%. However, if we literally even double the inventory order, our margin would go up to 75%, right? Because in the scale that we're at right now, the economies of scale benefits are very, very high. So if you double the inventory, it would go to 75% margin. If you triple it, you could take it up to 80-85% margin. So yes, of course, if the sales are increasing, and if the inventory turnover is higher, we would have more inventory investment. But at that point, if the demand is there, we can take advantage of the economies of scale very quickly. We have an instantly scalable supply chain, so that's not an issue at all. And our contracts with our suppliers already capture if we have an increased order, what the rate would be.
Helpful. Now, Anuj, now talking about other expenses, I believe this is comparatively not very high on the operating expenses. You don't need a very big staff at the outlet, but I feel with a product like this, you need to be at the right location. So rental comparatively would form an important part of your operating expense. How much is that we have taken into consideration? Is there a structure that we have created? What percentage of the overall revenue ideally should go towards your rental amount? How much ideally that we would keep towards other expenses, say electricity, say the staff at the outlet, is one question. And then I'll talk on a little bit on the EOS and promotion. How do we structure that?
So let's say I'll take the example of year 1, and then I'll take the example of year 3 to show how it's going to change year on year. So in year 1, we expect the rental cost to be 45 lakhs for the whole year, with all other expenses added. So that's electricity, small bits and pieces of marketing, packaging, insurance, and all of that for the particular outlet. We would expect the total expenses to be about 66 lakhs. By the time you get to year 3, this will get to about 76 lakhs, and then it tapers off around 80 lakhs per year. As a component of revenue we expect in year 1 to be at about, I think you could probably say like 70 to 80 lakhs if depending on the location and everything, as you said, it could even go up to 1 CR. And from there on, by year 3, year 4, we expect that to reach about 5 to 6 CR. And yeah, I think that's like very high level projections and financials.
Now coming on to any kind of promotion discounts that we do, which is end of season sales, any kind of festival discounts, promotions that we do, is there a provision around that that we have in the brand? And also, is there a sharing that takes place or the entire discounting is taken care by the company? You want to reflect upon it?
So as a brand, we don't want to do any discounts. We are trying to build a luxury brand that is, as I mentioned earlier, we want to be in the space of trend setting, not trend following, which means that, so I'll give you an example of D-Decor, right? Everyone on this call, on this webinar should know D-Decor. The way the D-Decor works is they release a bedsheet for, let's say, 5,000 to 6,000 rupees, but no one buys it at 5,000 to 6,000, right? They discount it by 20-30% in some kind of end of season sale or this sale, that sale, whatever. And that's when people buy it at 3,000-4,000 rupees. And that model works for them, right? The Indian mindset is as such that as soon as they see a discount, they feel like they're getting value for it, and that's when they'll buy it. But in the long term, we want to be in a space where we aren't discounting, right? We are a luxury brand that's meant to be seen as luxury, and you buy our product as a treat to yourself. So the guideline from the brand to the franchise outlet also would be no discounts. And if at all they want to do any kind of discounting, that would be a cost to be borne by them. But it would be a strong disencouragement from the brand side.
I was doing some, calculations. I think some of our investors also want to understand, because we have taken our sales projections at about 1x for the first year. And if I look at the rental comparatively, the rental is very, very high. This is almost about 375 rupees per square feet that we have taken. And if I take out, with the sale of say 6-7 odd lakhs, if we take out a rental component, the franchise partner is not left with much to take out other expenses. So you want to kind of explain that, because I feel that there can be locations which are available in malls also, and also in high street, which comparatively with this kind of area can comparatively come at a low per square feet rental. I'm not too sure if that rental has been considered based on that or not.
So I'll tell you the way that we work, right? And which is, I want everyone to like kind of capture and understand this kind of clearly, is we aren't in the business of putting ridiculous numbers on a spreadsheet and selling people with that idea, right? I agree that we have taken a higher, so what we've done is we've taken a higher estimate for all expenses and a very low estimate for revenue, right? That's been done on purpose so that this is what I'm saying right now is the minimum you can expect. Ideally, your position should be much better off, right? 375, yes, that's a higher level. We should probably end up at the 275 to 325 mark. And in terms of revenue as well, actually, if I was to show you my spreadsheet, revenue for year 1 shows 2.5 to 3 CR. But I don't want, like, I am in the business of under promising and over delivering. And that's the reason why the numbers currently would just about match up to break even in year 1. And your CapEx would then be recovered sometime during year 2, which is why the payback period is 18 months.
Which is another important, question on stock correction. With a stock with a value of 50 odd lakhs, I'm sure there would be some inventories that might either be slow moving or might not move. What is the provision for that? Is there a correction which the company gives to any stock which remains unsold is one question. And second, because you're a D2C brand, I'm sure there are a lot of demand which comes to you online. There must be some data intelligence that you currently sit on, and you know where these demands are coming from, one. And second, what products are being consumed by people. So is that something which is taken into consideration when even designing the inventory of a franchise partner? So these are two questions. One is on the stock correction, slow moving, and the other is on the inventory.
Yes, in both cases, yes. The way we work is every franchise outlet does not get the same inventory, right? We will do an analysis of the region. We have online sales data that can tell us which are the faster moving inventories of that region. And accordingly, the stock ratios will be calculated. The other side of it is, let's say that, it's still an early brand, right? Our data is not going to be 100% accurate. So if we do send you inventory and if it's slow moving, we are happy to take the inventory back at the cost that we charged you, because and replace it with another faster moving item, because we are not the kind of brand that's going to do a new collection every 2 months, right? We don't want to be in that space. We don't want to be in the fast fashion space. The idea is we do a collection launch every 8 months, and the entire stock in that sense would get refreshed every 16 to 24 months, which means that you've got time on your hands to sell the product. And in case it doesn't, we take it back and we can always use it for PR activities, because it's not a diminishing product, right? It has an infinite shelf life. And as I said, the designs are trend setting designs. They are not trend following designs. So even if you take any of our designs 3 years from now, someone would still love to receive that design as a gift. So we've got multiple ways in which we can reuse and remanage any unsold inventory.
Well, maybe I'll take a moment also to take investors through the website of your company. And friends, you can keep writing any questions that you have. We're more than happy. This is a franchisee and franchisee operated model. So the company would not be keen to take up the location and run that by themselves. I think that was one question which I saw one of our participants talk about. And all right, so give me a moment and I'll just put the screen. Okay, this is the website of the company. Now, you want to take them through the basic collections and the categories that you have?
Sure, yeah. So I'll tell you about our product range first, right? So we have, of course, bed sheets. Each of our bed sheets is sold with 4 pillowcases. And the reason why we've done that is, at home, anyone who's got a king-sized bed today, more often than not, would have 4 pillows on the bed, right? And what you'll see with most houses is 2 of the pillows will be matching with the bed sheet and 2 will be in a white pillowcase, right? So we wanted to solve that problem. So every single one of our bed sheets comes with 4 coordinated pillowcases, as you can see in the images on our website that are being presented. We then do cushion covers, which can form part of a set, because there are quite a few people who have 2 cushions on the bed as well as accessories. So our entire coordinated set also includes 2 cushion covers. Finally, we have the option of either a quilt or a duvet cover, right? Quilt is, of course, everyone knows what a quilt is. The point of a duvet cover and why we're trying to boost the use of duvet covers in India is, one, that means that you have one microfiber lining and then a cover on top, right? If it's just a duvet cover, one, it can be stored much more easily. It's as good as storing 2 bed sheets, versus if you try to store 2 quilts, you run out of storage space immediately, right? So you can store up to 8 duvet covers in the space of what it would take you to store 2 quilts. And 2, your duvet cover, you can throw it in the washing machine every other week. Quilt, as we all know, all of us find it a pain to even wash once in a month or once in 2 months. So these are all the different things. So these are all our different product ranges, and they've been decided and curated in a manner to also make it as functional as possible. Other than that, we've got, as I said earlier, 4 collections. Utopia is our most, what we expect to be the highest selling collection. It's basically a very minimalistic collection, which is, the brief for it was India through the lens of modern design. We then have Surreal, which is an absolutely unexpected, whimsical design set for the crazy-minded people. We then have Dots, which is a collection that pays homage to the polka dot, and it's all been inspired by different, the shape of a circle, different designs. And finally, we have our kids collection, which is, I think, as of now, our most exciting collection and our most popular collection. In fact, we get a lot of adults buying bed sheets for their own beds from the kids collection, and it's just a very playful, fun collection with like some really creative designs that are designed to kind of entice the imagination in a kid's mind.
Anuj, one question, which I also like to understand, with about 50 lakhs of inventory, typically how many SKUs we would have, and how many of, what are the total, I would say, products?
So with about 50 lakhs of inventory, you can expect approximately, I think 250 SKUs.
Okay.
Okay, let me break it down for you this way. We've got 16 designs.
Mhm.
Each design has 3 color variations.
Yeah.
Which means that you've got 48 bed sheet SKUs. Then you've got the SKUs for each of the pillowcases. So that's another 96 SKUs. So that brings you up to 150. Then you've got 50 SKUs for your quilts, 50 SKUs for duvet covers, and so on and so forth. So you reach about a total of actually 300 SKUs if you really look
And
at
we
it.
keep 100% SKUs at the outlet?
Yes, but it wouldn't be like the ratio as I mentioned. For example, for Utopia, we would probably have at least 15 to 20 bed sheets per design, whereas for Surreal, we would keep that limited to about 5.
Mhm. Okay.
That ratio is calculated based on our sales data.
Great. So guys, we'll leave our contact details, which has been put in the chat box, our email ID, our hotline number. If you want to reach out to us, we would be happy to share the financial working that we have done on the unit economics to understand in more detail offline. And before we close, Anuj, I'll request if you have a message for everybody who's listening live to you. Yes. And friends, you can go online to check their product range. That's what I wanted to in fact showcase. So the entire product range, color, themes, designs, all that is something that you can find on their website.
So I'll leave everyone with this. I know one thing that Saras also mentioned when we first got on call is that, I'm a young boy on this call, but what we've done with the brand is we've done a soft launch, right, over the last 8 months, and we didn't market it too much, nothing. We just kept getting feedback from people and trying to figure out all the kinks in our process. And now we've basically got that experience, and we're doing a whole revamp of the brand. And so there is a lot of experience that has gone into the brand already, and a lot more to come. That's one thing. The second part of it is we are looking at some high level partnerships with I wouldn't call them celebrities, but I'd say influencers in this space. And I'm not talking about Instagram influencer marketing. I'm talking about, interior designers that are very high level, trying to bring them on board as an ambassador for the brand. So this actually also answers another question in the Q&A box from Shiv. So there is a lot of PR and a lot of media that we're going to be creating for the brand over the next 3 to 4 months, and then so on and so forth as well. And yeah, it would be very exciting to do all of this with a physical store where people can come and experience the product, right? It's a product that you need to feel, you need to touch to really understand how it is. And for everyone on the call, please get in touch with any of us, any of the team from Franchise India, or to me directly. You can get my contact details from them. If you want to feel the product, I'll send you a pair of our cushion covers for free. Have a look and see I want the material and the design to speak for itself.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Anuj. Friends, I see some of the hands being raised. I'll request if you can share the information on the email ID and the WhatsApp number that has been put, and post the webinar. We are happy to connect with each one of you through our teams who are leading the project and get you on one-to-one discussion meeting as we deem appropriate with Anuj to take our interest further with him. Thank you so much, Anuj, and I'll request Saras to kindly take over from here.
Thanks, Sonia.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Anuj, for a wonderful presentation and answering all the questions. So, friends, that was our brand for today. And as we said, Franchise India, we launch a new brand every day, a new business opportunity every day. So tomorrow, again, we invite you for a great brand, which is Bombay Times, which is going to be there presenting you the great business opportunity in the F&B industry. Shall you need to the registrations and participate in this? We would like to invite you, and the same can be done on a hotline number, which is 97176 97176 83838, or you can even write us at feedback@franchiseindia.in. Feedback@franchiseindia.in. With that, also, I would like to invite you as there's a G20 summit happening and the world is coming to the India. So again, Franchise India is organizing a big show in the month of July. People who are watching us from different part of countries and states, why don't you book your travel? If you really have an aspiration to start your own business, 15th and 16th of July are the D dates. Where the world is coming to India, there'll be a lot of many brands and probably 750 brands participated last time. We'll be sitting inside this business opportunity, interacting one-on-one with you, and this is where you can pick up. With that, I would like to thank you all and thank you, Onik, for all your time. The best of your life. What we wish you. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you all.